All right, welcome to another edition of Goalie Resiliency. I'm Chris Dawson with the one and only Dr. Rob Graham, and we have an exciting podcast episode talking about a goalie, Hannah Brunton, who is a goaltender that you're very familiar with. You've done a lot of work with and has made her way through and really is, you always talk about chasing the dream. Well, her dream is kind of coming to a reality, Rob.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. And Hannah, I have spent a lot of time with Hannah, and Hannah is going to Darren Turcotte's program next year, the Lady Lakers. I think it's important to point out that Hannah also was a product of the program that Darren Turcotte really pioneered, which was the AA Ice Bolts, which is now the AA Lakers program. So Hannah set a goal and a target to play on that team, and she's really excited about the opportunity to follow in the footsteps of one of her heroes that we'll talk a little bit later, Danica Ranger.
Awesome. We'll have a look at this interview. Very well done, by the way, not only by Rob Graham, but Hannah. And take a look at this interview with Hannah Brunton of the Nipissing Lakers.
Welcome to another Goaltender Resiliency podcast with Chris Dawson and myself. Mike Brown has the night off, and we've got Chris on the other end of the camera, and he's no stranger to that. So really looking forward to tonight's episode where we're going to feature a local female goaltender, and we're going to be speaking with Hannah Brunton, who has come up through the Ice Bolts, now Lakers AA program, and very exciting for her. Next year, she's going to join Darren Turcotte and the Varsity Lakers. So Hannah, welcome to Goaltender Resiliency, and thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, I've had a lot of time that I've been able to spend with you, Hannah, and I know that we're not supposed to say this, but, you know, you have been most definitely one of my favorite athletes to work with for many levels and many reasons. Let's kind of ease our way into the interview tonight. So when you think about a goalie that you've looked to in terms of a role model, whether that be a female goalie or an NHL goalie, is there one particular goalie that you kind of modeled yourself after?
I would say definitely Carey Price. His calm demeanor is definitely more my style.
Yeah, for sure. I think you have molded yourself into that kind of Carey Price mindset. Is there a female goalie, perhaps even in the Professional Women's Hockey League now, or even the Canadian national team that you've looked up to?
Definitely Shannon Sabados. She was for sure one of my bigger role models when I was growing up watching female hockey, but also a local goalie, Danica Ranger, has been a big role model for me as well.
And Danica Ranger, absolute beast, had a chance to be on the ice with her early in my time with Danny Spence and 360 Goaltending. And for sure, Danica Ranger, a fabulous local female goalie who kind of set the standard for the program you're going into with Darren Turcotte next year. Great choices. So you've been an important part of the Lakers AA hockey program for the last number of years. And I sent you a picture recently. I spoke to the incoming 2024-25 team, and I sent you a picture of that dressing room from this weekend. What does that mean to you, having been a part and a very important part of that AA Lakers program?
I mean, it's obviously really cool to see how the AA team is now like incorporated into the Lakers program too. Like the players coach the association now, and the first time I walked into that room and I saw Danica Ranger's name on the wall, I knew I wanted to be a Laker too.
And you definitely set that as a goal, and you achieved that goal, and that's very exciting for you. And Darren Turcotte, as we know, was kind of the pioneer of the competitive AA program, and now you're going to be going to that next level where he has built another very successful program with the Lady Lakers. So that's quite exciting. So, you know, something that our viewers may or may not know, we've talked about it before. I started a mental edge program specifically for goalies, but all athletes, and you were my very first client, and I kind of pioneered a lot of my teaching and techniques. Some people said, have you prescribed her a medication? Because as we continued to progress through the program, you really embraced it as a student. Can you tell me a little bit about how the move towards that Carey Price demeanor that you've worked really hard on, what has that meant to your game?
I think it's really helped me, especially in moments like where there's a lot of pressure on me. I think it's helped me overcome that and also stay in the moment and not let my emotions get the best of me.
And we talked about that kind of reset, refocus, re-energize. And can you tell us a little bit, for goaltenders are out there that are watching, tell us a little bit about what that refocus, reset, re-energize protocol is, and what you do in that moment after you've been scored.
Yeah, I kind of just take a second for myself to reset. I have a little ritual I do to myself, and I do a lot of positive self-talk to kind of just refocus.
And we've also talked about taking 2 seconds to visualize a positive outcome in terms of that goal that's been scored on you. And again, not all students can adequately embrace that type of learning as you have. So you definitely, for me, have been a poster child for what is possible if you're willing to kind of put that time and effort in. So congrats to you for that. So we now have the professional women's hockey league, and I'm sure that for female athletes like yourself, there's some inspiration that's come from that. Can you tell us a little bit about how that new league has maybe impacted you?
I mean, ever since I started playing hockey, I knew I wanted to take it to the furthest level that I could, and now that there's that option for me, it obviously means the world.
Yeah, that's great, and you know, you're now going to get to compete at that next level, that varsity level, and you're going to get a chance to play with some of the top female hockey players across Ontario and potentially beyond, right? So a great experience for you. So every goalie has that kind of out-of-body experience game where it just seems like you're floating and you can stop everything. Now. My partner Chris Dawson, that's just about every night if you talk to the people that shoot on him in the local beer league. But there's one game in particular that I'd like you to kind of recall that took place that allowed your team to move on to a next level. And you want to maybe share with us a little bit about that game and how you dealt with that moment?
Yeah, I mean, that game was obviously a really big deal for us because the year before we didn't make provincials, and that was a winner go home kind of game. And we pushed through the end to tie the game up late, and then we went into a really long shootout, which was really mentally tough for us.
And so that shootout, it came down to, how many rounds did that shootout go, do you recall?
I think 9.
9 rounds, and it was winner go on to the provincials, loser done. And you, as I was told, I wasn't at the game, but remained extremely composed, and then in the end made a really incredible save. Was there anything that you were doing in that moment to kind of remain focused or to contain your energy and or anxiousness?
Well, the first 2 shots on me, I got scored on, so I kind of took a minute to reset and focus, and when I did that, I just stayed in the moment, and ended up working out for me.
And as we've talked about, self-confidence is built on sometimes going back to those important moments in your hockey history and saying that, I've done it before, I can do it again. And we talked about that in one of our sessions, about that's a defining moment for you that you'll be able to go back to and you'll be able to use to continue when the self-confidence is kind of waning a bit. Nice. So if I was a scout conducting an interview with you right now and I said, okay, Hannah, I'd like you to share with us some features that you believe are integral to you as a goaltender, and what are some important features about your character? So can you speak to that in terms of what you believe are essential features of your game and essential features of your character as a person?
I would say that I'm really calm and cool, collected. I'm also really consistent, but off the ice I'm a good leader and really friendly to all new people that come.
Great characteristics. And we did an interview with Tom Hedican, and I'm going to cite that again because, as Tom Hedican said, when I asked him the question about, what is something an up-and-coming goalie should have as a characteristic, he said work ethic. I would have to say, having spent a lot of time with you, work ethic is something that you also have. And then one other shout out for a skill that we've worked hard on is your skating and your edges, which you also, I know, take great pride in. Yeah. All right, well done. So let's finish off this interview with a little game of one or the other. Okay? And so it's just going to be one or the other. Okay. Now, if you had the chance to make a breakaway save or an unbelievable glove save, one or the other?
Glove save.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I would too. And for me, it'd be old school. It would be like waving, the old school flash it. Yeah, everybody loves a glove save. I understand that Chris, he's kind of old school with his glove saves, so he really likes to flash it. All right. Most importantly, Leafs or Habs?
Habs.
Okay, you lose points on that one.
Sorry.
Now, this is an interesting one, and we think about our Edmonton Oilers right now in Florida, and a lot of teams would rather play away when it matters. You have a game that really, really matters. Home game or away game?
Home game.
And why?
I like to have, friends and family there to see a moment like that.
Okay, great. So that doesn't add pressure for you?
No.
Okay, final question. Classic rock or rap?
Depends.
One or the other?
Rock, because you like that more.
Hannah, you are a rock star. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with you. I look forward to working with you in the future. I know that you're going to a fabulous program next year with Darren Turcotte and the Lady Lakers. And as we always say, chase the experience and not the dream. And I know you will.
Well done, my friend. It's obviously one of the things about getting into this the way we have, Rob, is a lot of us have had connections with a lot of our guests so far, and really not much more of a connection that you've had because you've been on the ice, you've done training off the ice with Hannah, so you know her really well, and you made her feel pretty comfortable. She's very comfortable in the presence of a rock star.
Well, I don't know about that, but one of the things that came up in the interview is Hannah was my very first client with my Mental Edge program. And so a lot of the techniques and a lot of the coursework that I put together really was pioneered with Hannah. And to see how she embraced that and how she was able to actually use it and elevate her game was really inspiring for me. Now, Hannah's going to the Lady Lakers next year with no illusions of the fact that where she's going to be on the depth chart. But I think it's a bit of a testament, Chris, to the program that Darren Turcotte has built at the varsity level, because somebody like Hannah is prepared to go there and is prepared to kind of be lower on the depth chart and is prepared to work hard to try to get that chance and get that opportunity.
You know what, and the one thing I love about it, and Rob, you've been involved with Darren on, as well as you've been involved with the Ice Bolts and the Junior Lakers this year, this is really an amazing local dream for female hockey players. And you know what? It's really a testament to the growth of the game. And now you're seeing Laker players that are getting on the 150 player list for the new professional league draft. And but it is really become, like I said right at the beginning, it really has become a dream for a lot of these girls, and especially the local ones. I really want to play for the Nipissing Lakers. And I mean, it is really special. There's not a lot of programs, in North Bay, let alone around the province, where you have such a great, inspiring story of what the players and how they want to come to that program. And certainly Hannah's got quite the hockey family. I'm familiar wearing the Voodoo's hat with Ben Brunton, her brother. So a great hockey family. And you know what? Sometimes off the ice, it's important to be good people. And I think Hannah's, as you know her off the ice, is not only a good hockey goaltender, but a good person too.
And she wants to follow in the footsteps of one of her role models, an outstanding goaltender in her time, Danica Ranger. And again, another local product. And I had the opportunity to work with Danica early in my years with Dan Spence and 360 Goaltending. And I can tell you, nobody worked harder than Danica. And her compete level, she was an absolute beast.
And she was a girl, we talked before. She had options to go NCAA Division I, and she wanted to play for Darren Turcotte.
Yeah, and again, testament to Darren. He's built a program that female athletes want to come and play for, and kudos to him. So yeah, I think this podcast for us, Chris, we've talked about, we really want to feature some of these local female athletes too, because I'm going to put it right out there. Some of the athletes that I work with in the Ice Bolts, now the Lakers program, have been some of my favorite athletes to work with.
Awesome. Well, let's go and move kind of in connection to what you did a one or the other, and we talked about it was you put her on the spot and you said what's better, a breakaway save or a glove save. So I'm going back in the we always like to go back in the archives, and wearing my Voodoo's hat, a goaltender that I'm very familiar with, battalion prospect Garrett Forrest, and arguably some of the greatest handiwork by our producer, Mike Brown, behind the camera to be able to catch a crazy bounce and an even better save. So take a look at maybe one of the best saves in Powassan Voodoo's history by Garrett Forrest.
Snapped around the boards. Oh, there's an open net. Oh my God! What a save by Garrett Forrest! Somebody call the cops! Somebody got robbed!
Great play by Garrett Forrest. Not expecting that weird bounce, but after playing in this rink, you have to know the weird bounces that these boards give out.
Now, last one I want to ask you about, and this might be a little tough to remember, but I was shown a highlight of you making an amazing glove save with Powassan. Can you take us through what that plays like and really to kind of go viral with that?
Yeah, I definitely remember that one. I think that was against Kirkland Lake or something like that. But it went on Twitter the next day, like hundreds of retweets and stuff. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, I faintly remember, I think they dumped it in and it hit off the boards or something, came out to the slot, and I just made like a windmill glove save with the splits.
Well, shout out to our buddy from the front line, Courtney Kenny, with that quick little clip with Garrett Forrest when he was playing for the Ryerson Rams. The Metropolitan University was the last season that Garrett played in U Sport. But what did you think of that stop? The way it that carom off the boards. I mean, that happens. A goalie goes innocently behind the net to try to stop a puck, and you get that crazy bounce right into the slot, and that was magic.
Well, and I think it's a testament, Chris, to what you and I totally believe and what we've lived as hockey players and as goaltenders. You know, a save like that can just change the entire metabolism of a game. It can add energy, and you told me off the camera that the energy that save gave to the crowd, and you were reminiscing about that. So, I mean, it's a testament to the power that a goaltender has to kind of be that drummer, to set the tempo for their team. And a save like that certainly can make a huge difference, not just in that moment, but for the rest of the game. And I think you would argue, as a GM, you've seen a lot of hockey over the years, that can actually carry a team much further than just that moment. It can take a team several games down.
Absolutely. Garrett was a unique story, came in, was a battalion prospect, was looking for a place to play, came to Powassan, had an amazing year with us. Unfortunately, we got knocked out by a very good Kirkland Lake Gold Miners team led by a guy you and I both know named Mark Lafleur. And then he went on to the OHL, got traded, never played for the battalion, but got traded, had a great career with the Flint Firebirds. But he's from Virginia originally, and this is the unique story. He didn't go, obviously, because he played OHL hockey, kind of took away his NCAA eligibility, but he went on and had 3 really solid years at Ryerson, now Metropolitan University in Toronto, and now he's got a master's in business, and he's working in the real world. You check out his social media, he says retired athlete, but a great competitor, and Rob, he reminds me a lot of Mike McIver, very athletic goalie, and as you saw by the way he kind of threw that puck back, he had a little bit of swagger, which you have to have, that confidence, and Garrett Forrest was not short on swagger.
Well, I love that part too. But you know, Chris, before we end this podcast, I want to kind of play a little game of one or the other with you.
I'm now, on the spot.
I had the opportunity last year to work with Vitaly Akhmanev with the AAA Trappers, and I have the utmost respect for Vitaly. He, like I always said to the boys, I mean, the guy played on a line with Wayne Gretzky, and every time I sat in the dressing room with Vitaly, I wasn't worthy. Tremendous individual, tremendous athlete, and have the utmost respect for him. I know you play hockey with him in the beer league, so let's go one or the other, Chris. Vitaly Akhmanev, breakaway, you have a chance, breakaway or glove save against Vitaly.
Now, which equipment am I wearing? Am I wearing the gear over your shoulder, the Dom DiVincentis pads, or am I wearing the Arturs Urbe Cohos?
Why? Because if you're wearing the Arturs Urbe's Cohos, there's going to be a 2-pad stack. Is that what you're thinking?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, you got to let me know what kind of gear.
We're going to go current because I think you wouldn't stand a chance with Vitali and anything.
I don't
but,
think I
so.
would, but if by some chance I'm able to create that windmill, that, by the way, that windmill save powered Powassan for, I think, about a week.
No doubt.
So that's how much windmill power there was with that save from Garrett. But if I was to stop a shot from Vitali, it would be the windmill save, and I would probably have my shoulder taken out from how heavy a shot it was. It would pull me backwards, and I'd probably throw my shoulder out. But I would do that because that would mean I made the save.
Well, and let's hope that our Mike Brown could capture that on video, because would I ever love to see it.
Awesome. That is another episode of Goalie Resiliency. Dr. Rob Graham, you did a great job. Thank you for the great interview with Hannah. She's setting the bar high for our goalies coming in. She did a great job with that interview, didn't she?
She really did.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing some more great interviews in future segments. And don't forget a shout out to the birthday boy, Mike Brown. This is another edition of Goalie Resiliency.